today. This is another Formidable Speaker Asmo deck, but one that I think is just like way better than the first draft we had. Um, the Academy Manufacturer sucks, I think, or maybe sucks is dramatic, but like the problem with Manufactor is it's pretty fragile, and your game plan with that card usually revolves around getting multiple copies into play. Instead of relying on that and being super duper weak to like Wrath, Disguise, and Meltdown, not that we're not weak to those cards here, but this deck is way better against them. And if you missed the last time we played this, we did really well, then we lost to Wrath, Disguise, Meltdown, and we went 2-2. So this is playing Ygra combo instead of playing the Manufactor as the top end. Now, I guess maybe I should back up a little bit. Speaker is really strong in Asmo. You can go Speaker, discard any card, play Asmo as kind of the minimum. It can grab you Daredevil for your cookbooks. It can grab you Steelseeker for some value. It can also untap your cookbooks, which can be really valuable. It can untap Urza Saga sometimes, make 2 tokens. But now what it can do in this shell is it can also assemble the Ygra Cauldron Familiar combo, which I think is pretty good. How the Ygra combo works is it says all other creatures are food in addition to their other types. And then, so Cauldron Familiar says whenever you can sacrifice a food to return this from the graveyard to the battlefield. So it makes your Cauldron Familiar's food, and you can sacrifice one Cauldron Familiar to the other to return them from the graveyard to play over and over. This combo is really nice. Because it can be done at instant speed. It can play through removal really well. Not only because you can just sack any other food for to redo the loop, but also Ygra has ward sacrifice of food. Although it does make your opponent's stuff food too. So it's very resilient combo. And what's very cool about this combo in a Sarinth Steelseeker shell is that when you are making a ton of food tokens to trigger your Steelseeker, you're able to dig really deep to put Cauldron Familiars in the graveyard really aggressively, in addition to just being able to Formidable Speaker for the pieces and discard them to Cookbook. But also, Steelseeker can graveyard Ygra, and you can dig to find Shifting Woodland to put Shifting Woodland into your hand, and then use Shifting Woodland to copy Ygra, and it's very difficult to interact with that. And then this Woodland Steelseeker angle, the Ygra angle, I think gives you a lot more resiliency to the really problematic sorcery, just that, the anti-artifact cards that this archetype is very weak to. Another really nice angle about the Ygra combo is having access to Nature's Rhythm for the like flashback tutor to potentially just go like 5 mana, get a second Cauldron Familiar because you do need 2. Like just sometimes getting the second is really nice. Or sometimes you'll be able to either tutor up or stand with Steelseeker to find Feasting Troll King, and then all of a sudden this Troll King allows you to flashback the Nature's Rhythm to put Ygra in play from the deck for just 4 mana. Which is a really nice tool. Nature's Rhythm definitely a lot better than Finale of Devastation, unless somehow your build is just playing like getting tons and tons of mana with Knights of Sweet's Revenge, which we are not. So let's go ahead and get in there. We I should say, as far as Ygra goes, there was like a week when we first were trying the combo, and we were popping off with Ygra. We were beating everybody. It was awesome, and then we ended up trying a bunch of different shells. And then I kind of determined that the first shell we started with was the best. And then I also felt like we were running kind of hot at the time. But Formidable Speaker is really is just a huge asset to the archetype. So the idea is that thanks to Ygra, this deck can actually give some game to Wrath Disguise. Yes, that is the idea, since it was a big problem last time. This hand's quite good if we draw a Cookbook or a Black Source, or I think even Urza Saga is fine. We're on the draw. Let's see. If we draw a regular, actually even a regular green source is fine because of Nature's Rhythm and Steelseeker. So I'm gonna say that we have, and then I guess I'll go ahead and say the Wraiths are. I guess I'm just gonna not count the Wraith as far as the deck size go. I did a little bit of weird math to start the day. So we already have an Opal in our hand, so we've got 27 good draws, and we're on the draw. So the population size, instead of doing the normal 53, I'm going to do just 50, because 3 of these cards are Street Wraith. Sample size 2, and then what successes are 27. So we are 80% to hit here, by my calculations. I think that's going to be a keep for me on the draw. 80% to have what I think is going to be a pretty good hand. So the Street Wraiths are only for Asmo. Yeah, I mean, they're really good with Asmo. Why is Opal a good draw? Oh, sorry, I don't know why I counted Opal. I think I was counting Cookbook for Opal, then my brain malfunctioned. Sorry about that. So less good math, although. Oh, sorry. We also had 3 looks. We also had 3 looks because of the Wraith. So the number should have actually been higher than that, anyways. Although my opponent did cast 3 1-mana creatures on the play, which is probably going to be a bit much for us here, even if we hit on the draw, although we do hit. I think I'm actually going to conceal info. I think we are a little too cooked on the draw. Maybe if we had hit our Black Source to cast Asmo turn 1. But I think concealing some info is going to be valuable here. I'm going to bring in a Pithing Needle. I'm going to bring in a Soul Guide Lantern. And I think just those. Probably down 2 Wraiths to keep the life total a bit higher. I apologize if you've discussed and missed it. I've been seeing some value 3-drops being played in your decks lately. What makes these cards different from cards like Cloudstone Curio and Intruder Alarm? That's a very funny 2 cards. Those aren't value 3-drops. Those are combo 3-drops. Value 3-drops have, think about other, value 3-drops have been fine for a long time. Think about Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Think about Flage. Think about Seasoned Pyromancer. Think about Abhorrent Oculus. It's like, there are, think about Teferi Time Raveler. That's something you should compare a value 3-drop in your deck to. A card like Cloudstone Curio or Intruder Alarm is a build around combo card, which is just completely different. All right, let's keep this 7. I'm going to go ahead and, I think, play the first familiar on the play. I thought about Speaker and Titan's Instant Tutor. Can Graveyard Lands with Analyst? So the problem with Speaker as a tutor in Titan is that, to me, it seems like it's just not as good a tutor as Green Sun or Summoner's Pact, although the ability to untap they have they graveyard a High Noon. I think that's not a great card against us. The ability to untap a like Lotus Field or Bounce Light is something. Is it enough to compensate? I don't know. But you would just have to think that Speaker is a better tutor target or tutor effect than Green Sun or Summoner's Pact if you were going to play it. They did nothing on turn 1, then they tap a red and a white mana, and then they go ahead and play the High Noon. So we'll test the theory that High Noon is not as so good against us. It is going to be stopping us from playing the Cookbook to go along with our Steelseeker, although my opponent has not impacted the board at all. And then we are hitting them for 4 down to 13. I kind of think maybe my opponent has a Blood Moon, maybe not, but it's going to be very tough for them to play Blood Moon and just do nothing again. If they do something else, maybe we can play Cookbook and make a Saga token. So they play a Flage this turn. Gonna kill my Asmo, it's fine. They are gonna be a little bit short of escaping the Flage next turn, even with the fetch land. Now we found our Ygra, so we are looking for another Cauldron Familiar to combo off with. I think the High Noon should make it kind of easy to play around stuff here. Maybe making a Saga token main phase is fine though, since if they have Wrath the Skies, the Saga token will perish no matter what. If they do have Wrath the Skies, it'll be kind of interesting if they want to leave their High Noon in play or trade it for the Steelseeker basically by going X equals 2. The High Noon is very likely affecting them as well, of course. So they just blind brought in High Noons? That's a good question. I mean, maybe they just were watching the stream earlier. But yeah, it does seem like they... I mean, the High Noons are also, I don't even think, good against us. I'm not sure. Maybe they thought I was playing Living In because I cycled the Street Wraiths. Okay, so now we can discard a Wooded Foothills to get another Steelseeker trigger. And then let's go ahead and not make a Saga token. There's a Daredevil, which is a nice pickup. We're going to get 3 more looks at a Cauldron Familiar. Although it's possible my opponent has like Thraben Charm. Although I think we can beat Thraben Charm pretty easy. Yeah, super easy. The High Noon Orm's Chant combo. Funny enough, we could still win this turn if we if we found uh, Shifting Woodland and a Cauldron Familiar. It's not the most likely. We're going to put that in the graveyard. Another copy of Urza Saga. Remember, I cannot cast a spell this turn. Don't think we're going to be attacking either. Yeah, definitely it seems like they thought I was on living end, so it seems like we got some good value out of conceding earlier. Why would they not kick? I think they would want me to attack, right? So they could flip the Ajani. Looks like a Flage escape to me. But to flip the Ajani. And then presumably kill the Steelseeker with the Ajani token. But it looks like I'm going to be able to go cast Asmo, kill both their creatures, kill the Ajani. I'll have 5 food tokens. So yeah, my construct it'll be smaller, but it'll still be big enough to kill the Ajani. And I can also make another Saga token. And it does seem like they thought I was living in, so it's not like this is a spot where I need to be really afraid of Wrath the Skies, probably. Not that, there's much you can do about that card in general. It's not really the kind of card you do a lot of playing around. At least with this kind of deck. I could surveil. I think I'll just play Overgrown Tomb tapped. No, we'll surveil. And pass back. I feel like in some cases it'd be a mistake to let you get the familiar into combat. It's probably the thought process. I mean, maybe. I mean, I think they're just happy if they can attack and if they can flip the Ajani and they can do that in any scenario that I attack, right? All right, so we're up a game against Boros. They are likely going to be re-sideboarding. So I'll let them do that. I mean, they probably have a good guess that we're on Ygra, but I don't think we've shown them a Ygra yet. Up a game, you mean going to game 3? No, we're. Oh wait, did I say going to game 3? Yeah, we are going to game 3. Gonna keep this hand on the draw. Interesting draw. Wow, very interesting draw. So now we go. This is actually what I think I want to do is I think I want to go Cookbook, discard Daredevil, and then just play another Cookbook here, off the Mox Opal. This way, when I play the Asmo next turn, I can kill maybe 2 creatures, and so that way, if they have a Galvanic Discharge, I don't just let them kill my Asmo before I can kill their stuff. So they've got a Ghost Vacuum, which we can play around somewhat. Now, do I try to Steelseeker first? I probably will. We're gonna have a lot of looks at a land here, or at least a good amount of looks. If they go to Ghost Vacuum in response, we can discard something to buy our Daredevil back, and they should know that here. Although they do this anyways, which is maybe fine. I'm going to discard, I think, Nature's Rhythm. If they want to Ghost Vacuum it aggressively, that's going to be okay with me. And we do find the Overgrown Tomb. Thank you, Steelseeker. You are the best card in the deck. Another Steelseeker token, or Steelseeker trigger rather, excuse me. And then we get to play an Asmo. So hoping my opponent doesn't wrath me, although if they do, they might be killing their own ghost vacuum at the least. If we can survive a wrath for like one more turn, hope the Steelseeker will have given us a lot of value and can feel somewhat comfortable. My opponent is going to combat. We do not want to see them attack. Because if they attack, they have wrath. They're thinking about it, which is bad news. Well, they just pass. I guess no real reason to kill the Guide of Souls right now. There's a Ygra. So I'm going to go ahead and just flash back the Nature's Rhythm, put it on the stack because my opponent failed to Ghost Vacuum. Going to get another copy of Steelseeker, probably, maybe Formidable Speaker for Steelseeker. I think I'll just get another Steelseeker. And then I'm going to pass. Not going to want to discard anything into the untapped Ghost Vacuum quite yet. I guess I probably should have just killed the Guide and attacked for ones, maybe -1 damage, not the biggest dealio. But this is going to let me dig really deep for Cauldron Familiar. It kind of seems like they have the Wrath, but they don't have the second white source at the moment. Going to go ahead and discard a Daredevil end of turn. It's probably fine to let them Ghost Vacuum it, just because we're going to have so many Steelseeker triggers. But if they want to Ghost Vacuum here, then we'll save the Daredevil. They've got Thraben Charm. All right, so they Thraben Charm to exile my graveyard. So we are going to lose the Daredevil, and that should be fine because we're going to have 4 Steelseeker triggers here. And even if we don't find another Ovalchase Daredevil, what we will usually find is like at least a land. There's our first Cauldron Familiar. We're going to need one of those. And then there's the second one. So we can... Now we need to find a mana, and we have like 5 looks at mana. We find it on the very first look, and we win the game. If you haven't seen the Ygra combo, it's pretty fun. Could even beat Surgical Extraction because we could just respond to it with more Cauldron Familiar sacrifices. That was a pretty cool game. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't like play 2 more creatures on turn 2. Because being able to like go Asmo, kill 2 things would have been nice. So we have the combo. A very slow hand on the draw, though. I guess we'll try it. Body bag with 22 months. Welcome back. Approaching the 2-year. Let's go. So the draw against Eldrazi-tron. They say no to 2 talismans and a Mycospawn. Then they play a turn 1 map. So maybe they're looking for like a specific second Tron piece. I'm going to go ahead and play the cookbook. This might be the kind of game where we just discard a bunch of cards aggressively so that we can get a Troll King out quickly. At the very least, I'll discard a Cauldron Familiar end of turn. My opponent has played an Eldrazi Temple. I think that they have K command, and then they just realize that they let this food token resolve. Yeah, this you should have responded to the food token if you're going to try to exile the cat, which it seems like they're going to try to do, and I'll just bring it back. Any reason you're playing Ygra instead of Samwise? Yep. It's a 2-card combo instead of 3, and the combo plays much better with Sarinth Steelseeker than the Sam combo. It's also 3 colors instead of 2. So it looks like we're going to be setting up for a turn 4. Actually, it is a 3-card combo because it's 2 cats, but 2 colors, much better with Shifting Woodland, much better with Steelseeker, and like this, the whole shell we're playing instead, I think. More resilient as well. I do think the first copy of Ygra and Sam combo could be kind of interesting too. They have a second K command. Kind of gross if they do. That being said, we are set up to win the game next turn by getting a Mox Opal off the Urza Saga. But if they K command into Ugin, they K command into Ugin, a card that Wizards of the Coast chose to leave in the format. Nothing to see here. But 3 on the top, 1 on the bottom. They cast turn 4 Ugin. So they get rid of one of my Cauldron Familiars. I'm not going to be able to save it. If I draw another Cauldron Familiar, we can win the game. Barring that, I don't know exactly what the plan is. So let's get the Mox Opal. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go Speaker for just Speaker for another cat. And attack the Ugin for 2. And then try to win the game next turn. But I have to draw a land now. They play an Urza's Power Plant. Gotta dodge a Karn, pretty bad. They go to make 3 mana with Ugin. They play an Eldrazi spell. Hopefully this is Devourer of Destiny, not Ulamog. So they Ugin one of my speakers. Imagine they're just going to Ulamog 2 lands, yeah. So do I have any outs? Looks like no. Okay. Down a game. So we're going to be bringing in the Thoughtseizes and the Damping Spheres. Maybe this is a little too many. Don't know if I'm going to bring in... I guess I do need to bring in the Needle. I will be cutting... I think I might just cut the full Ovalchase Daredevil package. Possibly... Maybe -1 Asmo. Just play 1 Daredevil as a speaker 2 to target. That's probably fine. But just a lot less in on Asmo this kind of matchup. Maybe I need to play 1 Haywire Mite. Seems fine. I do think I want to leave in the Troll King so I can potentially Nature's Rhythm for Ygra. I think probably want to leave that in. Okay, on the play. We've got both cats. We've got a Steelseeker, but only 1 artifact. I think I'm going to mulligan this on the play. I have no sideboard cards either. This hand's pretty interesting. I think I actually need to put back a cat, which feels bad because that's half the combo, but I think I need the Mox Opal to try to ramp into this Ygra, and the Steelseeker could hopefully dig me for a second cat. And I think the Mox Opal just triggering the Steelseeker next turn will be nice. They say no to a K command, an Urza's Tower, and a Forest, and then they Ugin's Lab into a turn 1 Talisman. Let's go ahead and play Steelseeker and play Mox Opal. Would love to find a cookbook. Asmo would be nice. We don't have a way to discard it, so I guess we have to graveyard. And they just have turn 2 card on the play. They have turn 2 Thoughtseize, so they get to take my Ygra. I find a Nature's Rhythm, which is, I think, a quite good top deck. Better to shuffle the cat on the bottom back in. I mean, I think it's better to potentially be able to surveil with the Wooded Foothills than it is to fetch that last turn. How often do I think I probably do not want to be discarding the... Oh, I do get a food token for this. What could I mean, yeah, I think I'm going to discard. Maybe this is worse against second Thoughtseize. Not really much worse, I suppose. But main phasing, so like if they kill the Steelseeker, we still get the trigger. 5 mana. Is this a K command? Kind of has to be. They might want to kill Asmo instead of killing Steelseeker, because the Asmo can kill the Thoughtseize next turn. They go exile 3 cards from my graveyard, a Nature's Rhythm, a Ygra, and an Asmo. And then they make 3 spawn tokens. Interesting. So we've got some options here. I think what I'm going to do is Formidable Speaker for Cauldron Familiar. Discard the Cauldron Familiar. Now my opponent probably has an Ulamog in their hand, by the way. Put this in my hand. Kill the Thoughtseize. Draw a card. Surveil. There's a Nature's Rhythm, which is going to be fine to put in the yard. So I imagine my opponent would only be making spawns here if they have Ulamog. Maybe Karn. Turn 4 Ulamog. Oh no, so this is Myco spawn. Interesting. So they're going to get rid of my woodlands. Maybe they have a Bajuka Bog? Probably not Bajuka Bog. So I'm a little confused about the spawns. Maybe it was fine. And there's a Tormod script. Now, they should probably crack it now if they're going to crack it at all. Because I can get back the other Cauldron Familiar and I can flash back the Nature's Rhythm. Yeah, and they realize that. I still have two. I still have 2 in the deck. Let's go play second Steelseeker, and I don't have Metalcraft. If I did have Metalcraft, it would be better to probably Legend Rule the Opal here. Oh, maybe not. There's another Familiar, which is really nice. And then there's a Thoughtseize, so we're not going to be able to discard anything else. Oh, sorry. I guess we could discard again because of the Formidable Speaker. Let's go to Graveyard the Thoughtseize. We can't sack the food. Pass back. Maybe Devour. It looks like Devour of Destiny. I don't know what they're hitting with it. Maybe my third Familiar here. Yeah, that's it. That is what they do. I cannot kill my own Familiar because I only have 1 food token. Very interesting game. I draw another copy of Steelseeker, which we have to discard to keep churning through the deck sub. Graveyard that, which could find me my 4th and final Familiar this turn. I think we graveyard this too. And then we could kill the Devourer this turn, but this is my last Familiar, so I need to be able to kill it with my own Asmo if they have a removal spell for it, or an exile-based removal spell. Got 3 cards in their hand over there. They find a Karn, which is an unmitigated disaster, you could say. They find engineered explosives. Will they play this on 0? Remember, I can still activate the Asmo. Can still activate the Cauldron Familiars. Has to be on 1? Maybe. So they're going to cast a Seer? They cast a Seer instead. That's pretty interesting. Maybe I'll kill the Seer with Asmo to draw a card. Let's see what we draw for turn. We draw a Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle almost definitely going on Engineered Explosives. Let's go ahead and cast that and see what the Steelseeker gives us. Engineered Explosives. So there's Ygra. Don't have Shifting Woodland in play at the moment. It's not particularly helpful right now. I think I'll graveyard it. So if I kill Thought-Knot Seer or Devour of Destiny and I sin with everything, my opponent will have 3 blockers. They'll go block, block, and the Karn will take 2. If I kill the Thought-Knot Seer, I get to see a card. Yeah, I guess I'll do this, but I'm not sure that we're gonna actually have a good attack here. There's an Urza Saga. What I like about Urza Saga is if I put it in the graveyard, then Shifting Woodland is live. Although I do think we're gonna be cooked, I guess. Don't know exactly what they're gonna get off the Karn. One of their cards is an Engineered Explosives. We've Pithing Needled it. Tough matchup for sure. They minus the Karn again. They have 5 mana available. They grab an Extinguisher Battleship, which isn't a card I've seen in a while. It now means we do have, and then they don't cast it. So I'm gonna go look at the K command in their hand and then concede, I guess. So annoying. Wait. Oh, sorry, Battleship. I saw Battleship and I was thinking Sky Sovereign for some reason. That's not the same card. So it looks like we actually do just get to take the Battleship and be alive. Sorry for being so defeated there. And we can kill the Karn. We have the option to kill Karn. It's not really getting a lot better, especially because they're about to devour. I can choose what creature I want to stay alive. Is it Asmo? It's probably... I kind of want them to kill Asmo because I kind of need the Steelseekers in play. So I think if I sit with this, they're going to block the Asmo, but I want to have a... I want them to do that so I can have a Steelseeker in play instead, if that makes sense. Because I want to be able to dig for the Shifting Woodland. I still only have one left in the deck. Unfortunately, they respect Steelseeker. Karn is dead, though. Nation with the 37 months. Thank you so much. They can Ulapog with map. Oh, can they? Oh, so I didn't think they had 10 mana here. Battleship is also going to be pretty tough to beat, but yeah, we should have taken the Ulamog. It was somewhat beatable. Very tough matchup. Can get Ygra back with Cookbook. That's true, although we're dead to the Ulamog. Alright, tough game 2. We are 1-1. I'm going to keep this on the play in a new matchup. Hopefully we can dodge Tron for a little bit. Although they were last seen 4 days ago playing Mono Blue Tron, I would certainly much rather play against Mono Blue Tron. On account of the deck being worse. It looks like that is what they're playing. They go Gemstone Caverns, pitch Sink. Not that the matchup's necessarily going to be favorable. We'll see if they have a turn 1 counterspell up here. Try to recommending 6 in Steel Cutter. Assume 6 if you include Misty Bauble. I mean, it's a lot of changes. I don't know I don't know how powerful that is as well. That doesn't seem like the worst. All right, so they've got only 3 cards left in their hand. They play an Expedition map. So we can still... Oh, I guess they're just going to counter this. Oh, no, correct the map. I think I'm going to get a Steelseeker. And I guess we'll hold the Opal for the Steelseeker rather than play it right now. They play a card on turn 3. Yeah, Snow-Covered Island's so bad for them. It's funny. Although I'm not playing the Break the Ices right now. What do you think they're even getting here? Ensnaring Bridge. Well, I can beat Ensnaring Bridge. So you're gonna have 4. Let's say they play Land Bridge. Then my 2 power creatures should still be able to attack. Yeah, I'm just gonna go play. I drew another Daredevil, which is kind of funny, but I'll discard it, get an Asmo, cast an Asmo. I also have Besage in my deck. Do I have 2? Oh, that's right. I cut the Besages for Shifting Woodlands. So we're gonna be all in on the combo. But we're gonna be with the Steelseeker and the Nature's Rhythm in the yard. In Double Cookbook, we should be digging for it pretty aggressively. Although my opponent is not... They are not playing the bridge, which makes me think, of course, that they have counter magic for my Steelseeker, which is a problem. I mean, a lot of their stuff is like... I mean, maybe I'm walking into Snare again, but a lot of the stuff is like... You know, remand counter unless you pay X. Maybe that's the reason to play the Steelseeker here instead of Nature's Rhythming X equals 2. But I guess, you know, Condescend is live here. They go counter unless I pay 3. We get to kill the Karn. We get to hit them for 5. And we could Nature's Rhythm for 1. Seems pretty free to do so, since we're going to be able to start flashing back the Nature's Rhythms as effectively as casting them next turn. So we can go ahead and put a Cauldron Familiar into play. Pass the turn. Make a construct became a pretty good turn 4 idea. I mean, it's just dead if they cast the bridge that's in their hand. All right, so we'll see if they counter the Nature's Rhythm here. Otherwise, we get to keep pressuring their life total. Force negation. I'm not going to use the Mox Opal here because I want to save the extra artifact triggers for the turn we get the Steelseeker down. My opponent is down to 8 life points. 4 cards in their hand. The bridge not looking too good. Okay, so we are up a game against Mono Bluetron after losing to Eldrazi-tron. We're going to bring in the Thoughtseizes. I'm going to bring in the Needle for Karn. I think I'd like to play a Haywire Mite just like we did last time. That being said, Damping Sphere is significantly worse against Mono Bluetron. We probably are not that interested in having it. I think I will go down 2 Asmos, 3 Daredevils, and a Wraith. Just again, don't care much about having Asmo in play in this matchup. I mean, it's okay to have some copies. Maybe I'm supposed to be going down like a Nature's Rhythm instead if I'm lessing on Asmo. Possibly that's a bit better. Slow hand. We do have a Thoughtseize. I'm gonna mulligan on the draw. I like this hand a good bit more. I think I'm gonna put back the Steelseeker since I don't have enablers for it, and I think I'd rather Speaker for like Ygra, potentially discard the Familiar, than try to get an enabler, although we find another Steelseeker anyways. They do have Tron here. I guess I need to take this Torpor Orb. And they go ahead and hold up Condescend rather than crack their map main phase to have Tron available next turn. I think I need to play the Steelseeker since the Nature's Rhythm for Asmo is going to be, or the Steelseeker is not going to be very good if this doesn't resolve. If that makes sense. Does a single Cavernous Souls mess your man up too badly? It's pretty tough in your Urza Saga Nature's Rhythm deck, yeah. I don't even exactly see the vision between the cavern. Like the woodland kind of gives you the resiliency against the counter magic better too. And they reveal Urza's Tower. Their hand is going to be Sink, Tower, 2 mystery cards. We'll scoop to a Planeswalker. Squee with the 75 months. Love some Ygra, hell yeah. My opponent K commands only for a little bit here. They put 3 on the bottom. I'm going to hold the Familiar. We kind of need cards to be able to discard here. Alright, I think I'll play the Steelseeker now. Two on the bottom again, so maybe they just have found no action. Maybe they'll Brain Surge lock themselves. Wishful thinking, maybe. Brain Surge, a little bit surprising. I guess they're really in on the counter magic, but a lot of times you play stock up instead. At least I liked stock up when I was playing Mono Bluetron. Not that I've played a ton of it recently. So I guess let's go Formidable Speaker for Ygra, discarding Cauldron Familiar. We do have a Woodlands in play, although we don't have Delirium. We'll have our third type with the Misty Rainforest, and if we surveil an artifact or enchantment in the yard, we will have Delirium, though. 1 on top, 4 on the bottom. They still have 2 sinks. It's kind of weird that they keep playing Tron lands instead of like playing a sink to have the other one up. Although they do go end of turn, Disruptor Flutes. They know I have a Ygra in my hand. I think I need to crack the fetch. Okay, it's interesting. You can sack your cookbook to have an artifact in the yard. Well, I can. It does cost 4 mana, but that's true. So they name Ygra. Having the extra food can be pretty good. Although I might want to like Steelseeker. Yeah, we also still don't have Delirium. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna Nature's Rhythm for Steelseeker. Because I can't get the or I don't want to try to get the Ygra in play. I just want to Shifting Woodlands it. They have another K command? Okay, well, we're gonna keep playing. How I wish they had banned this card yesterday, though. I don't know. K command's just so the games where they just draw 3 of them, they just feel so much harder. The card is just so unbalanced. It's ridiculous. That being said, we're not completely dead here. We do have Delirium now for the Shifting Woodland. They only have 1K command left in their deck, which may be one of their only ways they can even deal with this. We do need to find the second Cauldron Familiar still, though. And we need to do it really next turn before the Ugin. So we'll see if that happens. They do keep 3 on the top, 4 in the bottom. They can also find a Karn, so probably they found a Karn or a Disruptor Flute or a 4th K command. All right, we'll go to game 3. Got to be on the play for game 3. Didn't see my reaction to yesterday's BNR. I mean, there was not much to react to. I didn't expect them to do much because they haven't done anything in Modern in over a year. Although I do think that there's a lot of positive changes that could be made to the Modern format. I think that things are good, not great. It is what it is. Let's keep this on the play. Vindicate with the 68 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. So they've got 2 Dismembers, a Brain Surge, a Force of Negation, and a Mysterized Village, which is so greedy to play in their deck. I guess I'll take the second Dismember. Would you think Eldrazi could stand without K command? I mean, if their deck is unplayable without K command, I don't think they deserve it. Maybe. I think that single cards that just swing games so much, like when your deck is so much worse when you don't draw it, I think it leads to pretty bad gameplay overall. And they're trying to Dismember now. They need to untap first. Like the card is overpowered. It's weird, right? K command is overpowered, but the deck survive. The archetypes with it kind of get to survive because the rest of the deck is kind of underpowered. It's very weird, and it's not a gameplay dynamic or format dynamic that I particularly enjoy. So they play the Mine, Brain Surge, Force of Negation, 3 mystery cards in their hand. We're not going to make a Construct. Although, actually, maybe we should have made a Construct. I guess we're not that likely to have else to do with our mana. Yeah, sorry, no, we should have. So we get to graveyard that for some value, especially with the Troll King. They did not force negation the second cookbook. I'm going to graveyard this Ygra. Just got to dig a little deeper. But yeah, sorry. Should have made a construct. Find a Overgrown Tomb for next turn. Play an Urza Saga. Get in. I'd be okay with the K command ban if they gave Eldrazi and Tron more support. I that's fine. You know, they did give Ugin, which is I think a pretty big deal for whatever that's worth. I've been kind of reflecting on the modern gameplay a little bit, and like I do think the third Dismember is so painful. I get so punished for not making the construct. I've been reflecting on past modern gameplay some, and One thing that was just previously so good about modern gameplay is how similarly power leveled like the grindy cards were. It just felt like it felt like instead of, the games being decided based on I drew the card that you can't beat in the matchup. It felt like it was more like experience rewarding. I'm not really saying anything, but things are just kind of different now. Would you revisit moderation control, perhaps with scepter chant? Moderation helps chant without scepter. I guess I don't exactly see how that is true. How past we're talking, like, the 2014, like really, really old power creep. Well, you could say power creep, but it's more like it's less power creep and more that there's like 10 cards or something that are just too good in the grindy matchups, maybe. It's not like everything has rised the same to the same degree. Again, I don't know. Not really saying anything. Kind of a weird hand. Formats have to have bombs though. Sure, but cards they can also be better designed. Oh, my opponent's playing above 60. Is this the Omori deck without Omori? Did Dingo quit? I haven't heard anything about Dingo quitting. I think I saw that he was sick. #103 fever. That's pretty nuts. Okay, my opponent's playing 65 cards and they get a Rhyme Woodfalls. They play Stomping Ground untapped. Is this maybe a Scapeshift deck? That's why they're above 60. Just gonna cast an Ice Fang. All right. I've registered Rhyme Woodfalls before. Didn't Riddler kind of revitalize grindy games? Yeah, but that's also because Riddler's not well designed. The thing is, it's kind of like you make K command and you Emrakul the Promised and enters the format, and you have Flage Arena of Glory, and you have, I guess, Felly Overlord got replaced by Riddler, but it's like in order to compete, you do just need another broken card for a different archetype, and I definitely have really liked that a new kind of broken card for a different archetype got to enter the format in the form of Quantum Riddler. I think that has been a net positive, but it's also, in my opinion, been a net positive because the MH3 cards were so dominant for so long, and they still are very dominant. I'm going to kill this main phase because of Flame of Ador. It does seem like this is the Scapeshift deck. I feel like the only thing we got from MH3 are Flare of Denial and Birthing Ritual. Everything else seems to be from MH2. I'm like this close to banning you, Scrooge. I can't get baited all day, every day, but you. Inches away. So they make a Mutavault end of turn so they can Flame of Anor. I think we're gonna get another, or make a cookbook for or token first, but I'm gonna get another Mox Opal so I can make another token. Not much point in making one now. It's not like we would get the second construct out of Flame of Anor range if we did that. Did they play the Valakut last turn? Do you consider Heartless Act and Moonshadowless? We talked some about it. I just think I would rather play Shieldred's Edict if I wanted a 2-mana removal spell. I think the Heartless Act thing is cool. I might be wrong about it. It's also like really bad against Frog. That's kind of a tough sell when your 2-mana removal spell doesn't kill Frog. You have another flame? Would they even think this long if they had a second flame? They have Snap Flame? They have Sync. Okay. Can I Cookbook back Asmo, kill Icefang, kill them? Look, I'm not gonna have enough artifacts, so let's not play to that. I think I might just be dead to Scape Shift next turn if they have it though. It works. Yeah. Are you telling me it works as a pump? I know what Heartless Act does in the or with with Moonshadow. Guess. I updated Lockmare Enigma Jewel into a control deck, abusing Scepter. It's been pretty good so far in testing. I do want to play Lockmare at some point. Maybe that's gonna be my to-do list tonight. Huh. They've solved the equation here. Solve the equation. You were close to cracking foods to get out of range? Yeah, not quite though. I don't think it was worth making another construct. Why solve over wish? I mean, it might be better. Yeah, you get to play all 4 Scape Shift. You get to grab Flame of a Norm. Alright. Did not bring Ashiok with me to class today. Cool game. Anybody been playing the Scape Shift deck? Looks pretty cool. So if they're playing Solve over Bring to Light, we don't want the Vexing Baubles. We have played an Asmo Moonshadow deck that I thought was pretty solid if you want to check that out. Right, I think, again, this is not a matchup where we care that much about killing stuff with Asmo. I'm going to go down to Nature's Rhythm instead of another Asmo, though, this time. You might want Vexing Bauble. Oh, you know what? You're right. I think they do play a bunch of flares. Maybe we'll try a Speaker, too. A little slow. Scape Shift's Discord has been in shambles for like a year. Oh, wow. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think they play Flare of Cultivation and Denial. Could we have a one of fun of Vexing Devil and Moonshadow Rakdos build? You can. I'm not going to put Vexing Devil in a deck, probably. Oofed out the 56 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Steelseeker and that Warp card would probably go nuts. Which Warp card? Let's mulligan this one-lander. Keep this. Probably just put back the Street Wraith. The artifact one. Wait, the one that's just like an 8/8? Oh, Pinnacle. Oh, Pinnacle Emissary? It's kind of interesting. Although you can't really like put artifacts into your hand. I guess you can put artifact lands into your hand. Yep, might be something there. They also mulled the 6. So they can't cast the Oracle. They have no green mana at the moment. I think I'm going to take the Mutable Explorer. My opponent has Sabsunin, Luxia Embodied. Can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. 0 is even. Beginning first main phase, put a 1 counter on it. If it has an odd number of counters on it, then draw 2 cards. I remember I kind of thought about playing this card when it came out, and then I never got around to it. They found green mana. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Oracle. Guess I'm just going to Speaker for Steelseeker. I think this will be a little bit better than going all in on like Courser's Accord. First main phase, if it has a 1 counter on it, or put a counter on it, I think it was odd number of counters, draw 2. I remember thinking, like, this card was kind of interesting with Fanatic of Ronus and Green Sun Zenith. You can play this on turn 3 if you go Fanatic Warp Riddler, but then why do you need this card in your deck? So weak to Solitude. Pretty weak to K-Command. Pretty weak to Devourer. Probably not it. Okay, that's an interesting draw. Right. Happy to put that in the yard. Second Steelseeker is pretty valuable, but I think so is hitting our land drop here, so I'm going to untap the cookbook. Maybe they'll flame the cookbook, though. Okay, flame the cookbook, we pass. They found another copy of Coiling Oracle. They reveal a Flare of Cultivation. Now we're going to get got by the Sabsunin. It's a fun card to lose to, I guess. Let's see what we draw. Alright, I think instead of just letting that card kill me pretty fast, let's go pivot over to the backup deck. I know it's a little early, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of tired of Asmoing. I've been Asmoing a lot. The backup deck I'm also kind of itchy for. We've talked about this a little bit on stream. This is a Vibrance Nykthos deck, and what's kind of crazy.